Hello, dear Aquarius. I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your December 2021 horoscope. We kick off the month. Neptune is now direct in your second house, and the moon and Mars are canoodling in Scorpio in your 10th. This is where I'm placing your sign on the first house. So that you're wondering where I'm getting the houses from, that's why. Now, granted, this is generalized because not everybody has a Aquarius rising. So if you need something more personal, please come find me at jamiedawn.com. But in the meantime, let's talk about how conversations, connections, and the things in which you are experiencing as you kick off the month of December will most likely have you talking or experiencing more faith, more hope that your future, the things that you value, your income, your possessions actually are going to start to come forward and manifest. And that you may find your imagination soaring and giving yourself permission to play a little bit in that unseen realm about what you value or what you want to manifest next possessively or physically in your life. And with the moon and Mars and Scorpio making a trine here to that second house from your 10th, it may be because your reputation is now preceding you, where people are coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, Aquarius, I want you to do this. And I'm going to make sure you have the resources you need or the support that you need, or, maybe clients are coming to you. This also has a really good indication that there's an intensity around the emotional body, and that's what helps to push this manifestation forward. Now, you may not get it exactly on this day, but you most likely will feel it intuitively that something is happening on your behalf and that you can finally be driven towards focusing on how do you add more value to your life? How do you add more value to your everyday possessions, or even maybe your physical body needs a little bit of oomph and you're going to be driven to do it. And it may be also that mentally you need a little extra support during this time because it is so intense. So definitely make sure that you get that. But here's the thing, with that 10th house also being active, I would venture to say, Aquarius, that you're going to be the one people are looking to as sort of an expert or authority in this particular field. So if there is something that you're really passionate or driven to express or to embody, then certainly share it, and share it loud and proud. Because what will end up happening around the new moon eclipse time, which we have just 2 days later on the weekend of the 3rd, 4th, we have a 12-degree Sagittarius and last eclipse in Gemini Sagittarius energy. And this is a new moon. So you get to have a clean slate. And this is activating your 11th house, that house of, we'll say, the fruit that is born from all of your labor. And as over time, you've experienced all these different things that maybe you've been battling through. Maybe you've been transforming your reputation. Maybe you've also been supporting others as they go through deep healing and transformation. And now with this new moon, you have a chance to be able to say, I know who I am, I know what gives me meaning, and I know who my friends are, the groups that I participate in. This is a wonderful opportunity to even close up the past so that you can start something new in regards to communications and socializations and whatever it is that you may be really focused on these days. It also has a good indication that you'll be learning something new. Maybe you join a group that has like-mindedness or a common cause or a common vision, something that I think you can definitely stand behind, especially if it has some benefit to the collective. The other thing that I would say on a personal level is that some of you Aquarians can utilize this time to let go of any belief systems that have held you back from just embodying more of who you are and start something new based on your current experiences, as well as maybe you learn or take a new class, or you're going to start one soon that gives you more knowledge around how maybe there's anthropology or sociology that shows up here where you're like, how do all these interrelate? Some of you may also be teaching in groups at this time or kicking off a class in the upcoming months. And you're now putting all the information together in a beautiful way and finding that inspiration for that to happen. The other thing I would offer is that right after this eclipse on the 8th, a couple of days later, we have Mars squaring off with Jupiter. So that 10th and first house comes back into play here. And with Mars, there's an intensity of how you show up and the ideas that you present and the way in which it can certainly expand, because we're working with Jupiter here, and then this square, it can expand the tension you might feel between how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. So let's just say you've planted these new seeds at the eclipse weekend and you started declaring, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to show up, and this is what I'm going to look like. And you're doing all the first house things of first impressions or first approaches maybe to this course. And yet there's somebody in authority, or there's that public eye that may not line up accordingly, or they're asking or demanding something of you. Or when you're looking at the material, you're going, wait a minute, this really doesn't line up with what I feel I can present. I can do it better, but I just don't know what that is yet. And so that's what you're trying to work with, is trying to figure that out. But remember, that square, that tension does create growth. And sometimes you just might need to take a step back, reevaluate it, and then come at it at a different angle. Venus and Pluto will be canoodling on December 10th, 11th. That's their first canoodle. And they'll canoodle again at the end of the month around Christmas time. I'll talk about that. But what you're going to be looking at is 12th house, which can attract old patterns, hidden patterns, things, times and situations where maybe you feel a little powerless and it just pops up without your thinking. And very often it can get triggered because of either a relationship or a finance issue, because that's Venus, and or maybe a value gets challenged because maybe somebody doesn't respond to you the way you thought they should, and that causes powerlessness. Or you get a bill in the mail that you didn't expect and you feel powerless because you don't have the resource for it. And yet here's Venus and Pluto in Capricorn saying, trust yourself, go deep, retreat for just a little bit, remind yourself of all the things you've accomplished up to this point. Remember that the universe has your back. And so what you may find around this time, if you're willing to just stay with it, is that you'll realize how truly powerful you are. And that when you tap into that subconscious, and this can take you to a deeper level or a higher level, however you want to look at achievement, because we're dealing with Capricorn, this could give you a serious approach to how you can truly go deep into that subconscious and pull out what one of my teachers calls the golden shadow. And that's the hidden gifts that you hold that you didn't even know was accessible, or you didn't even know was there. You just needed to access it. So you may decide that the month of December, you spend some time going into meditation in a deeper way, or maybe you decide to go on a retreat so that you can go into this deeper work. And then you come out with a brand new tool that you didn't know you had. Mars enters Sagittarius in that 11th house. Mercury enters Capricorn 12th house right around that time as well, on the 13th, further emphasizing this socializing, this collective energy. Also, keep in mind, 12th house is really the house of rebirth. On the zodiac wheel, it's the last house of the zodiac. And it's a chance for you to be able to merge into everything. And then we start again with that first house, which is the reemergence. And so what you may find is that with Mars entering Sagittarius, you really want to connect, and you're driven to make sure that people understand the truth, and that maybe you are teaching in this group and you're very passionate about what you're teaching, and you're pulling in your friends or like-minded individuals that can help you along the way. And with Mercury entering Capricorn in that 12th house, that can also lead you to do some more research, and maybe you pull in just a little bit to take a more serious approach about what you're doing. It's not so much about perfectionism as much as it's about making sure you have all the facts so that you can present yourself when the time is right as somebody who knows what they're doing. And I think that's really important. You like to be seen as an intelligent human being, and you are. So this gives you more time to gather information, to expand your mind, and also maybe expand your social circle, do some good marketing, and take time out for seclusion as well, maybe to learn something more about yourself, learn something more about a particular subject matter. And with Capricorn here, you're most likely going to be thinking about real serious things, taking a more mature approach to how you go deep inside of yourself even. There also is a good indication here. There's some back room, back office, whatever, hidden conversations that may happen when Mercury enters Capricorn, and conversations about who am I, how do I show up in the world, and how can that get transformed or expressed. And December 19th, we have Venus turning retrograde in Capricorn in that 12th house, further drawing you inside. This is where some patterns or some things that maybe were hidden that you were like, I can't deal with this right now, could come back. And it may be relationship subject matters. It could be something around finances and things that you value. Again, more Venus energy. It may be that you put something aside like a beautification, and you've decided now you're ready to explore it again. It's going to come right at Venus retrogrades right at this full moon in Sagittarius on the 19th. And so that's going to activate your pleasure and your social houses. So 11th and 5th house. So your personal expression versus how you express yourself in the group, or how the group reflects what you do really well, or how you express yourself. There's a lot of creative energy here. And with Venus retrograding in that 12th house, it can have you pulling in to be able to research a little bit more. What is it that gives me pleasure? Maybe I need to let go of a particular friend or group, or this maybe it's not about like-minded, maybe it's about like-hearted, and really lining yourself up with those who are in alignment with you. I will say that December isn't necessarily a month where you're manifesting a lot of forward movement, but there is a lot of conversation, there's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of forward thinking that can happen, so that by the time January, February rolls around, you're ready to hit the ground running, you're ready to start manifesting. This is a good time also to get certain things on the calendar for the future, and maybe keep it close to your chest for just a little while Venus is retrograding here for the month of the second half of December and into January, so that by end of January, 1st of February, your birthday, you're ready to expose it to the world. Now, I'll put a little caveat. Mercury will retrograde during that time, but remember, Mercury retrograde, and I'll talk more about that in my other videos as they come up, but Mercury retrograde is great for wrapping up the past. So this is a good time for you to initiate certain ideas and thought processes and all of that, and prepare. This is a good preparation month. This is a good time for wrapping up the calendar year and moving forward with your plans, putting some plans into place, researching. If I really want to take my job to the next level, if I want to be of greater benefit or service to the world, what do I need to do in order for that to happen? What do I need to know in order for that to happen? And then who can I partner with in order to make that happen? Now, on a personal note, many of you Aquarians are going to be revisiting romantic subject matters. So it could be, can we have a baby? If you're dating somebody, when we see each other again, can we take this to the next level? You may research a little bit, or it could show up with Venus and Pluto canoodling here. It could show up where I don't have any power over making this person date me or take me somewhere or show up in a certain way. But what power I do have is revisiting my values and my self-worth, and making sure that I am giving to myself as much as I want to give to another individual. This also has a really good month for an energy for those of you who are bonded to be able to show up in a full way with your partner, that you can do some things behind the scenes. You can allow yourself to be really quiet with each other. Maybe go on a retreat together. Maybe take a step back and just spend some real quiet time, especially around the holidays here, because we have the winter solstice on the 21st, where the sun enters Capricorn, further emphasizing activating that 12th house, then Venus retrograding and Pluto canoodle again right around Christmas time, that evening into the 26th. So I would offer, Aquarius, if there's anything from the past that needs to be cleaned up, or there needs to be some healing around it, even if it's just a topic, this is a good time, the second half, the holidays, we say peace on earth, or we have a chance to have more light. We light candles if you observe things like Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. Even if you don't observe the holidays, you can feel the spirit, air quote, of them. And this energy is offering that profound healing so that we can move forward, so that we can find hope and we can find faith that the future can be brighter. Yes, the outer circumstances we're not going to be able to control. They are what they are. But how we respond to them and doing that deeper work inside of ourselves is what's important. So December 29th, we have Jupiter re-entering Pisces, Mercury canoodling with Venus and Pluto during this time. So this 12th and second house is now going to be energized while Jupiter is in Pisces. It's going to expand your income and your value, your possession based on this deeper healing, this deeper work that you've done. So I set this up for you. Do the deep work. If you need to revisit certain things, then do it, and do it more than once, because you're going to find the blessings will show up in real and tangible ways, especially this first half of 2022. All right. I really hope this helps, Aquarians. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Please find me at jamiedawn.com, and I look forward to hearing how this month goes. Take care.